So, good evening to one and all present here. So, it is the second day of our faculty development program. So, kindly wait for 3 to 5 minutes. The resource person, Dr. Prakash sir, will join with us. So, kindly cooperate and be patient. So, thank you all.
Okay. Jai Jagannath. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Dean Ma'am, respected Associated Dean Ma'am, a very warm welcome to all the distinguished faculty members and participants on the second day of this International Faculty Development Program on innovative research practices in the AI era from proposal to publication. Yesterday, um, by Dr. N. Siba, we have discussed the strategies for writing a great proposal, key elements for drafting the proposals. I am thinking all the participants got the knowledge about this strategy. It gives me immense pleasure to be here today as we continue our journey of learning, growth, and collaboration. I am Mrs. Renuma Pradhan, Associate Professor, Department of Medical Surgical Nursing, School of Nursing, DRIEMS University. Today's session is on leveraging advanced technology for an iterative literature review using AI. This topic will be dealt by Dr. Prakash Palanivel. Before we start today's session, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our eminent speaker, who truly needs no introduction in the academic and professional circles. It's not every day that we come across individuals whose work quietly heals into the system. Dr. Prakash Palanivelu is presently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Nursing at Prince Saddam bin Abdulaziz University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. A nurse, a researcher, and a global trainer. He holds a PhD degree from Meenakshi Academy of Education and Research, Chennai, and is a research guide from International Examiner for scholars pursuing doctorate program in nursing. He also completed MBA in hospital management. He has over 12 years of experience in both healing and teaching. He is a Florence Nightingale Awardee for Best Nurse in Philanthropy, a certified WHO Master Trainer, and the man behind many books and papers in psychiatry and palliative care. He has life membership in TNAI, American Travel Health Nurse Association, and senior member in Asian Research Society and also Indian Red Cross Society. He is not only a scholar, he is not only a servant leader, but also a silent reformer. So let's welcome him with warmth and gratitude. Before starting the session, now I request to Dr. Prakash Palnivelu to start the session. Before the session, I want to request to all the participants to mute your mic. Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for your great introduction. About me. Is my voice is audible to you? Yes. Yes, thank you, thank you. Kind of, believe they are kind persons. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I hope my slides is visible to you. Yes. Yes. Can you please know my slides is visible?
Okay, yes. Yeah, response by message. Okay, okay, right. So today the topic is being discussed is going to be leveraging advanced technology for an iterative literature review using an artificial intelligence. Right. So, what is an iterative literature review? Okay, so you are familiar with the literature review. You know that the literature review we are going to search the previous research work which has been already done, right? So identify what are all the research gaps, what are all the recommendations, and what research can be done in terms of future. What sort of modifications that we can do, that we will do it by the help of literature review. But what exactly not exactly this iterative literature review. It is nothing but conducting the literature review in terms of circles. Okay. So where you can continuously search for, read, evaluate, and refine the body of literature. Right? So you do the reviews in terms of cycle. So that what you will do, you can read it out and you can evaluate it, and if you want to refine your body of literature, that can be possible by doing a iterative literature review. So unlike the static review, an iterative literature review is dynamic, it can keep changing and advancing, and it's an evolving one. As a researcher, you have the deepened your understanding. They revisit and refine your question. So you put some research question. You want the literature to be very specific to your research problem. That can be done by modifying your research question or the research problem. And you can deepen your literature review methods using a proper artificial intelligence tool, which is particularly helpful for hypothesis development, identifying the research gap, and adapting to the new findings. Okay, so you can develop the hypothesis. You identify what are all the research gap. That means where you can focus, where the further research is exactly needed, and what are all the needs for improvement in the existing research. So all these things can be identified by doing this iterative literature. So this process can be time consuming and cognitively intense when you done manually, because even you want to identify the review of literature using a normal Google research, when you do that, it consumes lot of time and efforts that you need to scrutinize it. But the artificial intelligence tool, when you use for searching out the literature review, right? So that will save a lot of your time, and it gives you in the different columns like what are all the specific information that what you need exactly in terms of different subdivision. So you can easily identify what information is needed. So it is not cognitive intensive, but whereas the traditional review of literature method, what we do is cognitive intensive, not intensive when you do it manually. So what are all the key feature for this literature review? That iterative literature review, what are all the key feature? It is not a one-time search, just you search, right? Because you revisit at the different stages so that you can refine your research problem, you can identify the exact need, what you require from the literature review. Here you can refine the focus. That means you can adjust your research question. You can adjust the keywords of search. Okay, what you needed, and you can even filter out with the proper inclusive criteria. Suppose you need a research study on particular focus where you want to include in the your literature review. That can be done. You can have a focus on such a way. You can respond to the gaps. Okay, so you can search for more sources, right? So more sources can be done. Whatever if you doesn't have a proper review of literature, you doesn't identify with the manual research, manual search option. That time you can respond the gaps into the proper AI tool. Then it improves the depth and relevance. That is, you can understand the topic very precisely. So it can be done by modifying your research problem by giving up the different keywords, okay, in your AI tool. That can be possible. Right. So, what are all the common challenges we face in the traditional reviews? So, information overload due to the explosion of scholarly content, right? So, if you put a topic, you get plenty of information, you are unable to scrutinize it. For example, you want the literature only for the past 5 years, right? The review of literature. But when you search with the traditional method, you cannot filter it out. You will get the olden reviews more, where it is unnecessarily waste your time. So that can be saved off when you use a proper AI tool to do a review of literature. So what you can do it. What are all the real challenge is furthermore, the searching is a challenge, filtering out is a challenge, and even summarizing it is also a challenge. Okay. So even though you have an abstract, you have to read every abstract information. So it is a very intensive task to us. And it's difficulty to track the emergency trends and the new publications continuously. That is a very tedious task for us. What is the recent information? What is the new publication, which is latest information? So that is a really tedious to us. And there is a risk of cognitive bias in paper selection. Right? So which paper you need to select, which paper you need not to select. Right? So that is a cognitive bias will be always there when you have a traditional review method of searching. Then it requires a manual effort to compare your multiple studies, right? So you need to compare this research paper with that research paper, right? So that you require a manual effort for that. Right. So, what is the role of artificial intelligence tool in the iterative literature review? The AI tools will streamline the literature discovery by automating research. Research will be automation. On automation, it will automatically search when you give a proper research problem or when you give the keywords, then it automatically search and give you. Then it will then summarize it. It will summarize and give you the what is the final report. And it is also going to compare it. So if you want to compare with one research paper with the another research paper, what are all the positives and negatives? If you want to compare it, that comparison is also possible. So these tools support the iterative learning by suggesting the new papers, extracting the structured data. Example, what is the outcome, what is the population they have done the research, what intervention they exactly given in your research paper. So everything is possible by extracting the structured data. And it support the query refinement, whatever your doubts, right? So that refining your doubts, okay, that can be also possible, and it will going to explore it out of it. They offer the speed, breadth, and consistency that enhance the research process when you use the artificial intelligence tool. Right. So I'm introducing a tool of AI, namely Elicit, right? So Elicit is a free artificial intelligence powered research assistant which is developed by Arch. It helps the researcher to identify, to find out and organize the literature based on your specific research question, right? So you have to type out the research question. So based on your research question, it is going to find and organize the literature. It extract the information from the papers in a structured format. Okay. So you have a structured format. So based on that structured format, it is going to extract the information. Then it leverages the semantic scholars academic paper database. It has been designed specifically for the evidence-based and the question-driven inquiry. So what are the key features of Elicit? It is a natural language question input. That is, you have to type your research question directly. Okay. So then it is also have automated paper discovery. That means it will going to pull you all the relevant results from the scholarly database. They also have the data extraction. So what it shows the population, it shows what is the intervention is given, what is the outcome of your research study, What is the sample size is used? So all the data. Okay. And much more data, it will be given in a table form so that it is easier for you to cross check all the research papers. And you have a comparison table. I already said it helps to synthesize and compare the studies quickly. Okay. And there is an export option where you can export the data in a CSV or BibTeX form. Right. And you can also connect this with the Zotero. Okay. The reference tool where you can easily organize your literature review with the reference tool, AI tool. Right. So that this elicit excels, right? So you can also, there is a basic version and there is a pro version in elicit. Okay. So in the basic version, you cannot do the systematic review and scoping review. Whereas you have a paid version called as pro version. In the paid version, you can perform the systematic and scoping review using the AI to elicit. So exploring the emerging or interdisciplinary topics. So you can identify from the different discipline areas also what are all the your research was how it has been involved in engineering, how it has been involved in other disciplines that can be also possible with this AI tool. Then you can narrow down or you can expand the research question through proper iteration. It can be assisting the faculty in the student project supervision or quick evidence gathering. That can be also possible. And this elicit also have the complementing tool like Zotero, EndNote, Elementary, where you can organize your references also. So getting started with the elicit. So this is a website for the elicit, right? So you just want to click out the website. So after clicking out the website, it is a free account. You need to create your free account. So after you are clicking out or creating the free account, you need to enter the research question. Okay. So for example, here, what are all the effects of gamification in higher education? Okay, among the nursing students, right? So this is going to be the research question. Just I want to type down the research question, right? So when you type out the research question, they create the data columns. So what are the data columns you will identify? You will have to create the data columns. Example, it could gives you abstract of all the possible review of literature. Okay. What will be the outcome? What will be the intervention? What will be the population? What will be sample size? And much more. Okay, right? So if it is going to be the basic version, they have some restrictions. For example, it will say you like it will only give these columns up to 6 studies or up to 10 studies. Okay, so you have the restrictions in the basic version, whereas the paid version does not have the restrictions in terms of conducting this review, collecting the review of literature. Okay, so you can review the structured table of results and you can export, you can flag the important studies also that can also possible, right? Using this elicit. Yes. Yes. So I just want to show you like how you will do that. Okay. So you can able to see the screen. This is a illicit AI tool where you can do the research papers of you can collect the review of literature. Okay. Okay, right. So just then, okay. So in the log, after you log in, it will be like that. Okay. So elicit is going to be like that. Okay. So you are going to type out in this column. You are going to type out the research question. Okay. Right. So the research question, right. So advanced gaming technology. I just want to check out. Okay. Advanced gaming technology in teaching the psychiatric nursing subject. Okay. So it is evaluating. Okay. So it shows little more be more specific. It gives you suggestion. Okay. So you can able to identify. I just typed out what I thought in my mind, and it gives you. You can make more specificity with the question. It gives you suggestion. If you want to measure the outcome, it gives you suggestion of that research question. If you want to focus on the particular population, it gives you a research question. So I just want the outcome measurement. So just click this. So how does the use of interactive gaming simulation will impact the psychiatric nursing student knowledge and retention and empathy towards the patients in mental health conditions? Okay. So the question is there. So it says that the different aspects. So the balanced and the comprehensive, you need the payment. Okay. So I want to have the faster option. So it is going to screen up to 50 sources, and it will going to extract from that 50 sources. Is going to extract the 10 sources. Okay. So I just say you generate the report for me. Okay, fine. So it takes some time to do that. Meanwhile, we can continue with the presentation and welcome. Okay. Right. Right. So how we are using the elicit for the iterative review. So begin with the broad research question. So let the elicit return a list of purpose and extracted data. So it can be based on the gaps or insight. You refine the question. So you can rerun the query and you can compare the newly found results. And you can track the thought process and the evolution of the research focus. And whenever you need it, you want some refination, you want to have a focus thing, that time you can do an iterative cycle again. So one of the benefits for faculty and the researcher, it reduces the time on manual searching and reading. It enhances the early stage of literature mapping. It going to supports the writing the literature review for the papers and proposal. It helps to create the visual comparison tables across the study. It brings you a structured clarity and focus to exploratory research stages. So there are some limitations to consider this also. It only withdraws the data from the semantic scholar. Not all the journals is included, right? So AI is not infallible. Okay. So it requires the human judgment and review. You cannot just publish, okay, the AI crowd review of literature just for that. You need a lot of refinement and you need the judgment. Your work is also that, right? So extraction depends on the clarity of your input question. So clear you put the input. So it depends on that only you get the extraction of the review. Okay. So it is not designed for the fully systematic review protocols or like a Prisma, right? So it is best used in the early and the exploratory stages of research. For the early stage of research, it is helpful. Yes. So now you can see that we gave them a question, right? So they said that this report they will email the report, okay, within 10 minutes, okay, and you can able to see that data has been extracted, right? So you can able to see the definitions and most recent extraction, Okay. What is the intervention details? Participants. Okay, it's still doing. It's still doing. Okay, they just to say that 5 minutes is estimated for that. Okay, and it is going to extract the data, screen the sources, extract the data, and finally it is going to generate the report for you. Okay. Right. If you want to find the instead of going to the research report. Okay. So you want to just explore the papers on the some topics. Okay. Right. I put the same topic. Okay. So I put the gamification in teaching and learning in nursing. Okay. So here I'm not asking them to generate the report. So I just want to identify the review of literature related to the topic. So that can be also done. Okay. Yes. So right. So it says the summary of okay the four sources. Okay, you need the each source, you need upgrade, you need the paid version for it. Okay, right. So the summary. This is a summarized version of the four papers. Okay, so they given the references from where okay the AI tool has been incorporated it. Okay, and see you can have the option of intent. Suppose you want only the paper from Q1, you only have need the top quality journal. You can click Q1. Okay. Suppose you want the research papers and reviews only on for the past from 2020 to 25. I don't want to go back from 20 to 25. That can be also possible, right? Suppose you are more focused on I need only the meta-analysis study. You can tick it. Only the systematic review or RCT, whichever specific or nothing else. I just want the review paper. That also can be possible. Right? So whatever you are clicking off, only you will identify that. Suppose I want only the systematic review and the meta-analysis included, need to be included in my literature review. That can be done. Okay. So I'm clicking up apply so that it is going to again scrutinize it and give me the papers which I have made the filters. So it is going to give me see 2022 2025. So because I put from 2020 to 25. Okay. So only the 6 year papers I get. Okay. So if you put on only on Q1 or only on Q2, so you will get the research paper on that particular quartile. Okay. So all these things, okay, that can be done using this AI tool. Okay. Right. So if you want to export your paper, right? If you upgrade to the plus version, you can do all this. Okay. So you can export it. Okay. In any sort of you can connect it with any reference softwares, and you can extract the data. 50 papers per month, and you can add 5 columns in your table at a time. So you can auto generate your research reports. All these things are possible if you pay at $12 per month. Okay. Suppose you want to share to your email ID, that is also possible for this report. Right. So now how you do this iterative review? This is a review. You're just going to read it out, which is familiar, which is something. Sometimes you may find the literature which is apt. Sometimes this is not apt. You want to still more away. I just put gamification in teaching and learning in nursing, right? So I need only focusing on the myocardial infection. Okay, the patients who take care of myocardial infection. Okay, in teaching the nursing subject, on myocardial infarction. Right. So I'm going to refine. Okay. So I just want gamification. What game you need? I just still more I want to refine. Okay. Board games. Right. So now what it's going to do is you don't find the exact review, right? What you really expect, right? So whatever the refining you need, you can refine it. See, I already filtered. I need only the systematic reviews and meta-analysis. So you will identify the paper from 2000 to 2025, which exactly give you the board type gamification in the teaching and learning. See, this cannot be possible in your doing the Google search, right? Because you get a lot of cognitive overload. You get too much of papers. Like it's very difficult for you to scrutinize them. But here you can scrutinize it by reframing your research problem, reframing your questions. Okay, right? Suppose you don't have a questions in your mind. You don't have the exact question in your mind. You can also type out the keywords. Okay, so based on that keywords also it will going to give you the literature review. So the only thing is it need the payment because if you want to have a upgradation. Okay, right? Fine. So how you can integrate this elicit into the research workflows? So you can use it for the initial literature. You can going to scan before writing the proposals. You can combine it with the citation managers as like Zotero for the full workflow. You can assign it to the students for the preliminary paper mapping. Okay, so you want to map out the papers which is the primary one and from which is going to be the secondary one, like how we do it in the research rabbit. Okay, AI tool that can be here, and you can apply it to compare the theories, methods, or the sample characteristics. You can schedule the periodic usage. Okay, you can schedule the periodic usage, that is monthly or quarterly, to track the new developments in your field. See, I just want to list out the other complementary AI tools, and I going to say you what is the main feature out of it. Okay, because you have a lot of AI tools, and every day new tool has been evolving. And the olden tool what we use, we say that something is coming new, it is going to be best out of it. Okay, so everyone has a different perspective of different using their different AI tools. But which are all the famous AI tool for literature review, and what is the main feature out of it? Okay, what is the unique feature? Just that alone I need to highlight it. For the research rabbit, mainly it makes a visual map of related research papers. It helps you to see the connections between the papers like a mind map, so that you can find the papers more faster, right? So there are a lot of drawbacks also for every AI tools, but I'll say the positive aspects of that particular AI tool. Okay, because when you say out the drawbacks, it's going to be too many in every AI tool. Okay, all right. So then the what about in connected papers? The main feature, it shows how the research papers are connected by the citations. Okay, so it is like a family tree of research. It shows which paper is going to influence each other. Then we have a consensus, which is going to uses the AI to summarize what research says about the question, as similar to that of how we have seen in elicit. Okay, so similar to that of the consensus will also do the summarization. All right, so this summary of the research paper cannot be possible in the research rabbit and connected papers, but it can be possible with the consensus and elicit. Okay, so you can ask your question and you will identify the scientific answers out of it. And there is a AI tool called as slide. So the main feature is it shows how the paper was cited positively, negatively, or neutrally. It doesn't just count out the citation. It tells you if your people was really agree and disagree with the paper, research paper. And there is another tool called as lit maps. So here you can track and organize the paper over time in a visual map. It is good for planning your research journey and watching out how you are reading has been good. Okay. So we have still more other tools such as Open Read, Explain Paper, Humanta AI, Recall, RemNote, Traverse, Noi, Geni AI, and Skyspace, which is also going to be useful for the review of literature. Okay. So, as I said, I'm just going to say the peculiar feature of the AI tool. Okay. So, open read. Okay. It's as the paper mode that let you ask your questions directly to the research paper using an AI powered semantic research. So, unlike the others, it is also useful for the interactive reading and querying in the PDF files. So explain paper, the peculiar feature is going to be it simplifies the complex academic papers into a plain English with a single click. It's uniquely focused on demystifying the academic jargon for non-experts. And you also have a Homata way. You can chat with your own files. So you can upload, okay, in regard to the questions, whatever you ask, it stands out by being a personal AI research assistant which is tailored for the uploading of the content. And there is a tool that is a recall, it has created the automatic knowledge retention system. It remembers everything what you read or written. Okay, it acts like a memory layer. Right. So it is different from the other memory layer, like over the digital life rather than the summarizer or explainer. Okay, so whatever you do, it will store and it will have the retention system, like automatic knowledge retention system. And there is a tool called as a RemNote. So the peculiar feature is it spares the repetition for the note taking. It turns the notes into the flashcards automatically. So you want to create the flashcards that can be possible easily with the RemNotes. So unlike the other note taking, it's built for the long-term knowledge retention via the active recall. And we also have the tool called as Traverse. So the peculiar feature is a mind mapping plus spaced repetition. It organizes the knowledge visually and helps you to master it. So unlike the other tool, it combines the visual learning parts with the AI. Okay, for your deeper understanding. So NOE, that is a semantic graph-based knowledge management which map your ideas to connect as a graph. It stands out for our personal knowledge graph builder. And we're very familiar Geni AI, that is the AI writing assistance with the inline citation suggestion. So it differs from other typological writing tools due to its academic writing focus and aiding in citing while writing. While writing itself, you can cite it out, okay, with the references with the help of Geni AI. Okay, and style space. The peculiar feature is explain the scientific papers in the real time with the AI generated summaries and questions. It's ideal for the deep scientific reading and offer the real time solutions and also the formulas. Right. So far we've seen about the different AI tools which is available. You can have a try over it. Okay. So whichever you feel user friendly, whichever you feel which is working out for you, then you can use that AI tools. And don't use too many of AI tools, right? So peculiarly you choose one or two AI tool which is familiar to you and you can follow that. Okay. And what about the ethics and responsible usage when you use this AI tool? Always verify the AI generated summaries along with the original papers. We need to do it. Okay. So AI will do everything perfect and correct. Okay. Just you should not go ahead with this. So it's required the human verification because some site of some summary is what the AI is generating, right? So when you read the papers, it has a lot of flaws in the meaning. Okay, so rather from that you need your own scrutinization and verification, and check out it cites the actual source paper, not just the illicit summary. What you get it out. So be transparent in the methods if you AI tools were used in the review, right? So you can very well you can do uh, when you even publish when you do that you can mention that this AI tool has been used. That means you are transparently giving the information without hiding anything, right? So you can be transparent that which AI tool that you have used when you are used in the reviews. So avoid plagiarism by reading and interpreting the outputs critically. So educate the students on the AI literacy and its responsibility. So the key message, AI is not just a tool, it is a catalyst for a deeper, faster and smarter knowledge discovery. So the final takeaway, by embracing the AI-driven iterative literature review methods, you can move from the information overload to the true insight. You can unlock the new frontiers in the research, efficacy, efficiency, accuracy, and innovation. So that's end of my presentation. Now it's a time for you. If you have any doubts, any queries, you are welcome for the discussion. Yes, if you have any doubts or queries, you can ask your doubts. Okay. So okay. So I'm getting the question like which AI tool is best used for the research proposal. Okay. Right. Right. So I think the student want to submit the research proposal, so they want to generate with the AI tool. Okay. So identify. So actually, even with the chat GPT, you don't have the idea of your research. Okay. Right. So if you give the proper prompt, okay, it will frame and give you the research proposal, right? But ideally speaking, don't just copy out and submit it to your professor because we have the AI tools. That is a wrong method, right? So even the chat GPT is going to give you the complete. If you want to, if you put the right prompt, okay, this is your research problem and your clear focus, and kindly create the research proposal, right? So it is going to give you the research proposal, but you need to have a human checking for that, because whatever the AI gives is not absolutely correct, right? So you need to have a scrutinization for the same, right? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Asking morning. We are going to overcome.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we need the free AI tool. That is going to be that. Actually, initially, when they launch the AI, it is going to be free. Right. So how and later their motive is business. Okay. So that is why they are launching the AI tool. Why? Because they want to earn money. Right. So they make use of it. They want you to use it, and you want to love the AI tool. Okay. And they want to be dependent on the AI tool. Right. So after that, what they will do? They start with the simple payment, and they have the different categories of payment, like monthly it is automatically debited from your account, right? So that is their objective. So if you are going to with the free AI tool, what happens? The AI tool, there are free AI tools, I'm not saying there is free versions, but what happened, they are not doing any automation. Okay, so they have the limits because they just created the AI, but it's not profit to them, right? So what happened? It does not give you a quality content that what you expect. So if you want the quality content, it is payable.
Students wants to.
Yes,
Anyone of
ma'am.
the students wants to ask any questions? Please come.
Okay, nice. Very useful session. I'm able. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. You know that included in my last slide. Okay, right? So one thing is you have to avoid plagiarism. And second thing is you have to be transparent that you are used this particular AI tool, right, while you are doing it. And AI can be a catalyst for you, okay, to improve your research, to improve your review of literature. But it should not be a pure thing for copy paste, right? So AI is person, so I'm just relax, right? So that should not be our objective. So AI is going to help you to do your work very faster. Okay. So the yeah, thank you. So I can see another question like how many review of literature search can be done with the we can do it at Elicit AI. Yeah, that's right. It says like it gives from the sources of 8 sources. It will take 10 sources in the basic version. Okay. From the 10 sources, it is going to reduce to the 4 sources. Which that 4 sources which comes in your filter. That means if you want to filter out only, you need the papers only from 2025. Okay, which is very exactly recent study. That will give you a recent review of literature. Okay, so through your filter, you can do it in the basic version. In advanced and pro version, you can do it plenty. Okay, it gives from your semantic scholar, it gives you papers from plenty as much as possible. And why I point out as Elicit is, it is day by day the tool has been developing, right? So they not only have the pro version, they have advanced version, and day by day they are in the stage of development. So automatically all the review of literature, it depends on your payment. Okay, so how much you pay depends on that. It's going to give you the count. Okay, so the count increase drastically if you have a good payment on monthly basis. Okay, so it will helpful for the researchers who are institutional based. Okay, so the universities can the universities can afford it, and you can use it as for it. So that will be benefit for all the faculties and the students if the university take steps on the payment on regular basis. Okay.
In the chat box, Salini ji, she is asking, sir, is there any AI for finding a reputed Scopus index journal?
Yes, yes. But it will scrutinize only the Q1, Q2 from the reputed journal. It won't check out and it won't give you a paper from the predatory journals. Okay, so don't worry that it is checking out and giving out in the predatory journals. It won't. But however, in case it has been done, that is what you need the human touch. Okay, so if case it gives you a review which is from the predatory, you can identify because at the end of the summary of your review of literature, it's going to give you the references from which on seeing the references itself you identify because everything mostly from the reputed journals. Okay, so it is not going to give you the papers from the predatory journals, so you don't want to worry about that. But still, you need the proper checking. Okay, before you are sending for a publication to the journal.
Some other participant. Which AI tool is used for writing review of literature in different styles, like APS Vancouver, or to convert the content into specific style? So, question
Okay, so you are asking up which AI tool can write it in the different reference tool. Yes, yes, you have the integration. This Elicit, you have the integration that you can connect it with the Zotero. You can convert that into the different reference styling. Okay, so you want Vancouver, you want APA, you want the different reference styling method. That can be also possible. Right?
So one more question from our student.
And mostly we use Vancouver because some journals they use different reference styles, not even Vancouver, but most of the journals, okay, the scopus they follow a Vancouver style of reference.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, sir. My question is, can AI tool
Yes.
that used most effectively by the students or early researchers or best suited for our experts?
Actually, your voice is breaking, so I'm not completely understand your question. Which AI tool is for early researchers and
Can
which AI tool is best used?
Can
Yes.
AI tool for review literature is suited for early researcher or student and best suited for experts?
Okay. Yeah, it's actually it's for notes. Okay. So researcher also can use the AI tool because it's going to cut short their time. Right. So everyone wants their task to be done faster. Right. See, nowadays we are, if you want to be a research collaborator, right? So they particularly mention some criteria. I can able to see the criteria, the last criteria. Are you familiar in using a EndNote? Are you familiar with using a medley? Okay, are you familiar with use of Zotero? You understand because this is existing criteria. Even the reputed researcher keeping up. If you want a collaborator, you want to have a knowledge of using this AI tool because this AI tool going to save a lot of your time. So it is going to helpful for the early researcher and as well as for the advanced researcher also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So one more question in the chat box. But for literature review, which should be good, Chat GPT or Google Scholar? So, am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But, I think the voice is a little breaking, so I'm just checking the. Yes, can you repeat, no? For the literature review, which should be good? Okay. So Google Scholar, you can get the review of literature. I'm not saying you will get it, right? So even in the chat GPT, you can get it. So it is actually depends on their individual perspective. Google Scholar is like your database, okay? But chat GPT is a artificial intelligence tool. But only the problem is in the chat GPT, you get the information, but in chat GPT, you don't identify the true references. It gives you my personal opinion is I have checked with the chat GPT. The chat GPT is giving up the information. The information is correct, but the information was not properly cited. That means they're giving it's just giving its own references. So you don't have a proper citation of that. Okay, it's somewhat it gives the information. The information is correct, but the chat GPT doesn't able to cite the proper references where the information is. Okay, so instead of using ChatGPT, Google Scholar is better, on my opinion. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes.
One more question, sister. So, from a long distance, you have given so interactive session, so interactive knowledge to our students and also to the participants those who are doing PhD particularly. It's all the AI tools maybe help them to write the thesis in their future. Now I request all the participants, please switch on your video, switch on your that camera that we can take a photo. And if in future, if you're doing like this program continues, and you will take your help, sir. Thanks so much.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. And thank you very much for the opportunity given to interact with the scholars and the students, and you can able to see a lot of faculties and principal around the session. So happy to see you in the session.
I will request to all the participants and the delegates